What's up, guys, and thanks for checking out this video. We're going to be going over Nutrition 101, and as a bonus, I'll be sharing with you guys how to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. Now, if you do like content like this, feel free to give us a like so YouTube can push this video out to more people. Subscribe and ring the bell so you can get notified when I post similar content. But let's hop right into it. All right, guys, today we'll be going over Nutrition 101, so everything you guys need to learn when it comes to the basics of nutrition. And at the end, I'll share with you guys how you can lose fat and build muscle at the same time. But as you can see, a couple things that we're going to be going over. We're going to be going over calories, macronutrients, micronutrients, how diets are made up, how to lose or gain weight, and again, how to alter your body composition. But first up, we got calories. What are they? Calories are basically a unit of energy. We get calories from the food and beverages that we consume on a daily basis. Now, we have protein, carbohydrates, and sugars are going to be 4 calories per 1 gram. We have alcohol, it's going to be 7 calories per 1 gram. Fats are going to be 9 calories per 1 gram. So we definitely want to limit our consumption of them. Not cut them out, but limit our consumption of them. We also have something that's called empty calories, and these are calories that have been stripped of their nutrients. Examples are going to be things like fast food, and we also want to limit our consumption of them because empty calories are immediately metabolized. And if they're immediately metabolized, it means that you're going to be hungry again in a couple or a few hours. So try to consume more nutrient-dense foods like whole foods, fruits, vegetables, things like that. That way you can stay full for longer, in turn helping you stay within your daily allotted calorie amount. But that's that, guys. We have what we call macronutrients, and these are nutrients that are required in large quantities. And there's 3 of them. We have protein, we have carbohydrates, and then we have fats. Very, very, very important that we're consuming a good balance of all of these and not trying to cut any of them out like completely from our diet. But we have protein, which is responsible for the growth and maintenance of our muscles. It helps with satiety, which is the feeling of being full. It also acts as a chemical messenger. It helps maintain proper pH level, and it aids in the transportation of nutrients throughout our bodies. We have carbohydrates, and this is our body's primary source of fuel. It's actually our brain's preferred source of energy. Carbohydrates, they spare protein for building muscle. And what I mean by this, there's this process called gluconeogenesis. And it's basically where if you're not consuming a good amount of carbohydrates and fats, the protein that you're taking in is going to be used for energy instead of for building muscle. This is why it's very important to consume balanced meals, so the carbohydrates, so your body can use the carbohydrates and the fats for energy, and then use protein for building and repairing new muscle tissue. So it's very important that you guys understand that. But carbohydrates, they also help to maintain a fluid balance. They help keep your glycogen stores full, and that's just your energy levels throughout the day. And then overall, carbohydrates provide nutrition that fat and protein can't. We have fats, and one thing right here I want to say about this: just because the name of this macronutrient is fats or lipids, does not mean you need to cut it out completely. Like, I've talked to a lot of people who try to do that. You do not want to do that. And that's because fats have some very important roles throughout our bodies. As you can see here, we got cellular membrane structure and function. It also acts as a precursor to hormone. It helps with nutrient regulation throughout our bodies. And then fats help protect our organs. They also help insulate the body, and they're very satiating, meaning they keep you full longer. So it's very important that you don't cut it out completely, but because fats, again, are 9 calories per 1 gram, you definitely want to limit your consumption of them, because it's super easy to consume a whole lot of calories, when it comes to fats. But next up, we have micronutrients, and these are going to be nutrients required in smaller quantities. Think things, vitamins and minerals, I meant. But these are essential for the growth and the energy production in our bodies. And a cool way for me to break this down to you guys is by comparing our bodies to a car. So if you look at a car, you have gasoline, which is the main source of energy for the car, but you also have oil, which is critical for having the engine run smoothly. So comparing it to our bodies, we have the macros, which is our main source of energy, and then we have our micronutrients, which are the vitamins and minerals, which make everything internal function properly how it's supposed to. So it's very important that you have both macro and micronutrients, guys. That's just a real easy way for you guys to understand that. Next up, we have the acceptable macronutrient distribution range for each macronutrient. And this is basically just I'll say a general recommendation for each macronutrient for nearly all healthy adults. So as you can see, 10 to 35% of your diet should come from protein, 20 to 35% of your diet should come from fat, and then 45 to 65% of your diet should come from carbohydrates. Now, if you're the type of person where your body doesn't respond well to carbs, you may want to stick to the lower end of the carbs and the higher end of the fat, or the protein or fats. That way, you know, everything will flow properly how it's supposed to. But next up, we got how to lose or gain weight. And as you can see here, no matter what diet you're currently following, if there isn't a negative energy balance in place, you will not lose weight. Doesn't matter if you're doing keto, intermittent fasting, whatever it is, you will not lose weight. Same goes if the goal is to gain weight and you're not following a positive energy balance, you're not going to gain weight. But here you guys got it right here. So calorie deficit equals a negative energy balance, which is how you lose weight. Calorie surplus, which is a positive energy balance, is how you gain weight. And I'm going to break both of these down for you. We'll go over the calorie deficit explained first. And the first thing you need to pretty much understand when it comes to incorporating calorie deficit is your maintenance calorie intake. And this is how many calories that you need to eat every day to maintain your current weight. That's what your maintenance calories is. Now, what you want to do is subtract anywhere from 250 to 1,000 calories from that number, and that's going to help you consistently lose weight. Now, keep in mind, the higher the deficit amount, the greater amount of fat loss is going to occur. But I would not recommend you guys to exceed more than 1,000 calories. And that's simply because you could experience some nutrient deficiencies, which in turn could, get to screwing with your metabolism and stuff. So we don't want that. So 1 pound of fat contains about 3,500 calories. So if somebody wanted to lose 1 pound in 1 week, they would have to be in a deficit of about 3,500 calories over 7 days, which means, 3,500 divided by 7 days is 500 calories per day. Now, if somebody wanted to lose 2 pounds, they would need to be in a deficit of 7,000 calories or, 1,000 calories per day. And I made this little chart up here for you guys to understand this. So 250 calorie deficit, half a pound gone in a week, 500 calorie deficit, 1 pound gone per week, 750 calories is going to give you 1.5 pounds gone. And then a 1,000 calorie deficit is going to give you 2 pounds gone every single week. So that's that, guys. Next up, we have what's called a calorie surplus, and this is how you gain weight. I honestly feel like this is a lot easier than the whole losing weight process. But how you guys actually go about this is like whatever your daily calorie maintenance level is, which, like I said, is that like how many calories you need to eat to maintain your current weight. You should be at about 20% above it each day to create a calorie surplus. So, for example, if my maintenance calorie intake was 2,500 calories, what I would do is I would go 2,500 times 20%, and that would give me 500 calories. So all you do is add 500 calories to that normal 25, and now I'm eating more than I'm supposed to, which is how I gain weight. So if I wanted to consistently gain weight, I would have to eat 3,000 calories per day. So that's how the whole gaining weight process works. And in order to achieve either of these, it's very important that you guys understand how to track your food. So I'll make another video on how to track your food and how to set up your total calorie intake with MyFitnessPal. That way you guys can have clear steps on how to actually set all of that stuff up. But next up, we have how to change body composition. And this is very simple, guys. If your goal is to just lose weight, all you really have to do is focus on cardio and incorporating a calorie deficit in your nutrition plan. If you want to gain weight, you can just focus on a calorie surplus. If your goal is to build muscle, then you want to incorporate weightlifting and a calorie surplus. If you want to do a lean bulk, meaning you want to build muscle, but you still want to like be lean and have abs and stuff, then you want to do cardio, weightlifting, and incorporate a small calorie surplus. And then if your goal is to get shredded, you want to do cardio, weightlifting, and a small calorie deficit. And that's very similar to losing fat and building muscle at the same time. So as you can see here, we got cardio, weightlifting, and the small calorie deficit. Something to keep in mind though is when you're focusing on losing fat and building muscle at the same time, something to keep in mind is that your protein intake should be on a higher end of the acceptable macronutrient distribution range. So if you're only consuming about 10% of your calories from protein, and your goal is to lose fat and build muscle at the same time, you probably want to go up in there and up it to about 25 to 35% of your calories coming from protein. And this is very important because as you shed off the pounds, you want to try to preserve as much muscle as possible while you're getting rid of the fat. Because I mean, I'm not gonna say it's impossible. It is very, it's not likely that you're gonna maintain or build muscle as you get rid of fat. So it's best to focus on maintaining as much of that muscle as possible. And you do that by doing strength training and hitting your protein intake. And again, what that does is it decreases the distance between your skin and an actual muscle fiber, which in turn is what's going to make you look more toned up. So that's how that whole process works, guys. A few other things to keep in mind when the goal is to lose fat and build muscle at the same time is something that's called nutrient timing. And this is basically you spacing your calorie intake throughout the day, because our body can only metabolize so many nutrients per few hours. So when you're cramming down like huge amounts of calories, a lot of that stuff is being stored as fat because your body can't metabolize it all. So, if you're supposed to be consuming 2,000 or, 2,500, 3,000 calories per day, try to split those calories up and, between, 3, 4, maybe even 5 meals throughout the day. That way your body can consistently process those nutrients and everything internal will function properly how it's supposed to. Another thing is to stay consistent, because this is not going to happen overnight. You want to make sure that you're getting at least 6 hours of sleep. I would aim for 8, but I understand a lot of us have different schedules, crazy lifestyles, kids and stuff like that. So aim for at least 6 hours of sleep every night. I would limit our consumption of alcohol, or limit your consumption of alcohol, because it's considered a toxin, meaning there's no place in our body to actually store alcohol. So we definitely want to limit our consumption of that. And then overall, just make this a lifestyle, guys. And there's 2 things to focus on whenever, the goal is to make this a lifestyle. One is enjoyable physical activity. And this is, I'll say, active activities that you personally enjoy doing. So that's that. And then 2, sustainable nutrition. This is healthy foods that also taste good to you, because we all have different taste buds. What I like, you guys may not like. And vice versa. So you have to play around and find meals that you personally like to eat, but that's also healthy. And that's how you get sustainable nutrition. But that's that, guys. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and I'll do my very best to answer them. And if you guys want to see any specific videos, trainings on anything, feel free to drop those below as well, and I'll go to the drawing board and whip something up for y'all. All right, guys, I really hope you enjoyed the training and maybe even learned a couple things. If you have any questions or want to see any specific videos, feel free to drop your comments down below, and I'll get started on those as soon as possible. Again, if you guys like similar content just like this, feel free to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notifications. That way you can get notified when I post. But I'm Coach D, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.